Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Philly Phandom. My name is Ken. I am your host, Ken Gray. Said my name twice, but that don't matter. This is my second time recording this video, guys. Second time. I just put a half-hour video in. I was flowing. I was fluent. We was touching every topic possible. And I go back to play the video, and there's no sound. And I'm like, oh, turn my volume up. Oh, my volume up. It's all up. My speakers, on my computer, on the app that I was watching it on. I'm like, yo, what the heck? And I open up my recording software, and my mic wasn't even connected. Guys, for those who don't do YouTube, nothing hurts more than doing a half-hour video just to have to do it again. Man. But guys, welcome back to the Philly Phandom. Today we're going to get into some Sixers topics, some off-season moves, some expectations, what we're expecting from this team to do. And there's a lot to cover. We got some interviews coming up. We got a Doc interview. We got Joel. We got Dwight, we got Tobias. We got a lot of stuff coming up, so stay tuned for that. If you guys like the podcast, give me a subscribe down below. Hit the bell notification button so you get every video and live stream that I do. We got one live stream coming up this Sunday at 4 o'clock for the Eagles game pregame. The game kickoff at 4:25 Eastern Time. Going against New Orleans Saints. So let's see how that one goes. But yeah, we're going to get right into it. The first interview we're going to go and do, we're going to start off with Doc. But first, before we get into that, I'm going to play each interview one by one, and we're going to have a little 5-minute, kind of like what we take from it in between. Or like a 3-minute. The video is probably not going to be as long just because it's getting late and it's almost midnight. I want to get the video up before midnight to you guys. I don't want to be off schedule. But I already wasted 2.5 minutes just rambling off about that. But alright. Let's get into this Doc Rivers stuff. Doc Rivers came into Philly this offseason. Amazing move by the Sixers. They said when he got into Philly, they did not let him leave until he signed that contract. And I like that. They wanted him, and they showed it. And the same thing with Daryl Morey. They wanted him, and they showed it. He wasn't considering not even doing anything this year. He was considering taking a year off. But yeah, with Tobias Harris and the Doc Rivers, that connection's still there from LA. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see what those two could bring to the table. Tobias had his best season in LA with Doc. He set career numbers. Hell of a player. And now he's on a max contract making 16 points per game. So how do you feel about that one? I don't feel too good. But if Doc can put him in a system that makes him play like a max player, maybe, then I'll be cool. But I don't see that happening with Joel and Ben on the floor. They're getting the most touches. But yeah, we're gonna get right into this Doc interview. We're only gonna play a little bit just because we're trying to speed things up. But yeah, I'm gonna play the first few minutes, probably about 3 or 4 questions, and then I'll get into my take on it. So Doc Rivers camp media availability interview. Here we go.
We're encouraging him to use his speed more and not less. Pick his spots, but use it more and not less.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Keith. Hey, you thought you were getting rid of me, huh?
Yeah, it's just a one-on-one with you today.
I know, right? Doc, like how many guys do you want to see in your rotation this year?
It really depends. It's too early to say that. I think in an 82-game season, this year is 72, but in an 82-game season, if you can have 10, it's great because now you got two teams. You can hopefully create an identity, like a second unit identity. I've done that in a lot of places. I did it in LA with that group. We had our second unit was lethal. We had another group in Boston that was lethal. So if you can create that, that's great. But if you can't, and you have to go with the rotations where one of your better players always have to be on the floor, then you'll do that. We may be that group. I'm not sure yet.
And the last question, the real last question.
Yeah, sure.
Tobias, I know, right? So Tobias, right? Right now, when you think of it, everybody's talking about Joel and Ben. They're talking about Seth and Danny. Like Tobias is kind of like going under the radar, but he's also a guy who knows your system too. So how do you plan on implementing them this year?
Yeah, the same. I mean, we've changed our system since I was in LA with Tobias, but clearly I know it works for him, and so it doesn't really matter the system. It matters the way that Tobias plays, and we're going to get him in those actions. I can guarantee you that. You're going to see him going downhill more. You're just going to see him being more decisive, making quicker decisions.
Margarducci next.
Hey, Doc. Obviously, with Ben being the facilitator and handling the ball a lot, who's been kind of working as maybe being the backup when he needs a breather?
Well, we have Seth on the floor with him, and Seth's one of the ball handlers. Furkan's a ball handler. Shake's a ball handler. The point I guess I'm making is I don't see this as a point guard oriented offense. I see this more as a flow offense. And any guy with the ball can start the offense. And we worked on that today. Hell, we had Joel bring it up one time today, which obviously we wouldn't do. But we were trying to make the point that anybody can start the offense. We're not going to allow defense to pressure one guy, and that takes you out of your offense. So I think, it's going to take time for them to get it all, Mark, but I think they're getting it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, first interview down. Doc Rivers. We only got through 3 questions on that one, but what I'm taking away from this one, guys, Ben's not going to be the main ball handler. It's going to be evenly distributed. You heard him and Daryl talking a lot about Shake and Korkmaz, and you got all these other guys that brought in. They brought in Dwight, Tyrese, Danny Green, Ferguson, Seth Curry. That dude, who's that guy from the Mavericks? That his name's like Ryan something, some Russian last name. I'm not sure. But he's a knockdown. You watch his clips in Dallas. He's a knockdown. He can hit it. But it sounds like a lot of the offense is just gonna be around the whole starting 5 is gonna be kind of evenly handling the ball. Obviously not Joel. Like you said, Joel's not gonna be bringing up the ball in the games. This isn't 2K. You're not going to have your center bring up the ball and play point center. But I think Ben's going to run the 4. He's going to be a point forward. He'll bring the ball up probably most of the time because it's Ben Simmons. You're not going to tell Ben you're not bringing the ball up as much. That wouldn't be smart. It's one of the highest IQ passers in the game as of right now. And he said Tobias is going to have a lot of downhill action. So on the fast breaks, they're going to do kind of what they did with him in LA. They're going to get him the ball on the fast breaks, and he's going to be the second decision. He's either going to hit the pass to an open man, or he's going to take it to the rack himself. Which is when he was succeeding, when he's in that position. So I'm on board with that one. I really think Doc and Daryl and Sam Cassell and all those other guys, that whole coaching staff, they're going to get this team right. They're going to put him in a position to succeed. And I have really high expectations for this team. This is one of the most hyped up Sixer seasons I've ever been waiting for. That wasn't really the best way to put it, but like this team has, from what they picked up in the offseason, the shooting, we got the defense. Ben and Joel just got another season under their belt. They're learning more. They got a Hall of Fame coach now. I mean, he's never won anything. But I mean, it's Doc Rivers. Who cares if he hasn't won anything? It's Doc Rivers. He knows what he's talking about. Okay, scratch that. I do care that he hasn't won anything, but it's never too late. he's in a position to do that. And what he was saying is kind of like he's been talking highly of Shake and Korkmaz and all these guys, and I think Ben's going to run the 4. We're going to have Joel, Ben, Tobias at the 3, Seth at the 2, and Shake at the 1. And Shake's going to get a lot more minutes, and I feel he's going to really produce some points for this team. We have Seth, Tobias, Joel, and Shake, which are 3 players who can knock down a 3, and you got Ben with all those guys at his disposal. He could pass out to any one of them on the corner, and it's a high chance of the 3 going in. Especially with Joel, corner 3 is more of his. I mean, he shoots a couple wing 3s, some top to key 3s. He doesn't really shoot corner 3s. Kind of more of like that's when he's in a corner, he'll probably turn his back to you, start posting you up, back you down a little bit, hit you with that mid-range fader. He'll bring you in, hit you with a post spin. But it sounds like Doc really knows what he wants to do with his team, and I like that we actually have a plan. Because as a Sixers fan, I haven't felt like there's been a plan. Like it feels like the last two years with Ben and Brett, the dummy duo. It just feels like the plan's been like, oh, we're gonna get Ben shooting 3s. Stop with the whole Ben shooting 3s thing. Yeah, you want your point guard to be able to make a shot, but why 3s? Why's he gotta be Steph Curry to you? Like Sixers fans want him to be knocked down shooting 57% from 3. Like, come on, man. Let the man get the ball in the hoop however it matters. It's the same thing with attacking the rim and all that. Like, you could do a windmill and dunk on someone, or you can get a layup on a fast break with nobody next to you, and it's still the same amount of points. But what I got from that mainly is it sounds like Doc really knows what he wants to do here. He's got a plan, and I'm on board with that. A team with a plan is a team that's going to succeed. But yeah, the next interview, we're going to just keep it rolling here. Next interview we got coming up is going to be... Who we got here? Matter of fact, I was going to do Joel next, but we're going to just jump to Tobias because that connects with Doc, and we're going to see if he has anything to say that kind of correlates to what Doc was saying. So again, we're going to run this interview for about a minute or two, get about 2 or 3 questions in, maybe 4, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, Tobias, how's camp been so far, and how much of this is familiar since you were with Doc before? How much of what he's implementing is familiar to you?
Camp has been great so far. I think we've had a great work ethic from the start of it. Guys are continuing to push each other, push ourselves out there. We're continuing to get into the best shape that we can, but overall we're working. Obviously, system-wise, it's new for a lot of guys, mostly everyone. Even myself, there's a lot of newness to what we're doing, but the style of the practices, the style of play too, is familiar for what I know being coached by Doc, so it's been pretty easy to pick up.
Are any of your teammates kind of going to you and asking you certain things since kind of you've been through the system, even though he's tweaked it and you said there are different things in it?
Yeah, I mean, some guys come to me here and there about different things of the offense, but I think the biggest thing that Doc is implementing in this is us as a whole collective team playing off of one another and playing off each other's talent. So it's more along us to figure out how we can better the next guy and all the way down the line. So that's where the real, I guess you can say, quote unquote, challenge is right now. But we've done a great job of figuring that out thus far, and we'll continue to get better at that day by day.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Okay. Next up, Heath. What's up, Tobias? How you been, man?
Good, you?
I can't complain. Hey, this morning I saw a tweet from you.
Yeah.
It was the hashtag abolish the death penalty. Mm-hmm.
All right, so this question coming up is in relation to his thoughts on the death penalty and all that. We're just going to skip past this one just because it's we're trying to keep the topic of basketball going here. I'm not disagreeing. I don't disagree with anything he's saying. I'm not giving my point of view on it. But we're just gonna try to keep this thing basketball related. So let's just get to the next one.
How have they looked to you when they're paired in pick and rolls?
They look good in pick and roll. I think both of them have. We as a team continue to do things to make their lives easier on the court. But when both of them are in pick and rolls space with 3 other shooters, it's tough to guard. So it's just on them figuring out how to use their God-given talents, which for Ben is size and speed. For Joel is his ability to be stronger than a lot of other guys. So I knew Doc coming in here, I knew that was going to be something we were going to implement, and it's just a matter of picking apart the defenses because I think Ben is really, really good getting downhill and faster than a lot of people who guard him. And Joel's just bigger and stronger. So just it's just about slowing down and picking apart the defense of how they play you. Even if you watched a lot last year, a lot of guys were going over on Ben because they knew about his speed. And so that's going to be a big thing for our offense.
All right, there we go with the Tobias interview. Takeaways from that one. Everybody's excited. Tobias is seeing things in practice. He's liking what he's seeing. He's seeing the progression. He said things are different. He said practice is different. The way it's ran is different. And different isn't always bad. The way Brett was doing practice could have been like a lesser caliber, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but it seems like Doc's the way he's running things, players are more with it, I guess, in a way. But it seems like it goes back to the whole plan thing. It seems like there's a plan. Tobias, he said, like he said earlier in the interview, he said it's kind of easier to pick up because he worked with Doc before. And I feel like those past connections are really going to show on the court. Tobias is going to know how Doc likes to run things. He's going to relay that to the other guys if there's any confusion. He's going to make sure everyone's input, everyone's input is getting there. And I think Tobias is going to be a bigger voice in this team. He's older than most of the guys in the team. But there's not a lot that I took away from that interview as much as the last one, other than just those two things. But yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling. We're gonna keep flying through these. Next up here, we're gonna go to Dwight, and then we're gonna have Joel after that, and then we're gonna go with a wrap up takeaway, and then just my predictions on what we think the season's gonna have. All right, so we got Dwight Howard interview right here, and here we go.
Good screens and they communicate with each other. They've been doing a pretty good job of dominating in the pick and roll, making great plays. Ben is doing a good job of using Joel and also just being patient in the pick and roll. I think a lot of times young players, they come off the pick and roll and they go 100 miles an hour, but Ben is actually utilizing all his options. He has 3-point shooters. We got Joel that's either picking or popping. And he can get to the basket and score over any of the guards that's checking him. So he's doing a good job. And then Joel's setting real solid screens. He's reading the defense. He's rolling. He's popping. He's making plays. And I think that trust and that chemistry between those two guys and the rest of the guys on the starting squad have been amazing so far.
You've been doing a lot of talking about a lot of players, different players since you've been here. Mm-hmm. But for you, how has this fit been for you? I know it's early, it's only been a week, but how has this fit been for you?
It's been amazing. I'm happy to be here with this team, being able to learn from Doc and the coaching staff, but also just learn from these young guys. They've been doing an excellent job of just teaching me this offense and learning, this new style that we're playing. But also everybody's listening and working. We're working hard. So I'm enjoying this team. Not just the players, but the staff, the organization itself.
It's been amazing so far, and I'm looking forward to us building this year and winning this chip.
Thanks, man. Martin Ardisha, you're up next.
Like sort of like what Keith has asked. You've been asked before how much you could help Joel Embiid by playing him every day in practice. How can your game be helped by going up against a guy like that every day?
Well, for me, it's just pushing him and pulling the greatness that's inside of him out. And that's an everyday process. He's been preaching about trusting the process. And this is a part of that process and that journey for him. So right now, me getting better every day is just by pushing him, to bring out the best in him. We're going to go as far as Joe and, Ben take us. So, for me, it's every day being consistent with my effort and energy and communication with him, building him up, pushing him towards his greatness. And for me, it's just about being a servant. That's how I can get better every day is by serving my teammates, being the best vet I could be, talking to them, communicating with them on every possession. When I mess up, letting them know that, hey, it was my bad. I'm going to be better. And just pushing guys, So that's how I get better is by making sure that, every day and every possession and every moment that we have on and off the court, I'm helping these guys and pulling the greatness out of them.
All right, there we go with Dwight Howard's interview. Takeaways from this one. He's big on accountability. He's big on taking Joel's potential and maximizing it by giving him tips, by just showing him how to do things from a champion's point of view and a veteran's point of view. This man was in Orlando tearing it up. Best center in the league. And I really think Joel, I thought the same thing about Horford. I thought when Horford came, he was going to pass some stuff down to Joel because Horford was the one man that was stopping Joel. So I was like, cool, he's gonna pass some stuff down and get Joel fixed on the things that he's doing wrong. And it didn't really translate. But he goes back to the pick and roll thing. He's saying Ben's being patient with the pick and rolls. He's not just charging right through and just trying to right off the screen just make something happen. He's actually waiting to see what the defense gives him. Joel's setting good screens, he's saying, and he's reading the defense as well. And these guys, it's from what they're saying, and no players are going to make it sound bad. They're all going to do what they can to make their team sound like they're doing what they're supposed to do. But the team sounds like they're ready. The team sounds like they're ready. But the whole pick and roll thing with Joel and Ben, this should have been happened. This should have been the main focus of the offense. You got a 6'10" point guard who's fast with the ball. He's fast in general. You got a 7-footer who's heavy as hell. He's a brick wall. He's the definition of the brick wall badge in 2K. The definition of it. He can pick and pop. He can roll. He can post up. He's the perfect pick and roll center. And Ben's perfect for it too. They're just a perfect fit for the pick and roll, and it should have been what the concept was the whole time. I don't know why we're just getting to this. Joel can knock down a three, so if it hit on the pick and pop, but Ben's amazing IQ, he can set the screen in a 5-out situation. He can fade back to the wing, kick it out, or find another shooter. Now you got 6 on the team. Or he can just take it to the hole and do his thing. His team is set up for success now. It's just executing it in the right way. But yeah, this team sounds like they're ready. It sounds like they're playing with a chip on their shoulder, especially for the ones who were there for that Game 7 against Kawhi. But we're just gonna roll on to the man that we were just actually talking about, Joel. We're gonna move on to his interview, and then we're gonna wrap it up. We're rolling on about 25-minute mark here. So we're going to run this interview for about 3 minutes. We're going to give a little bit of analysis, and then we're going to start wrapping it up here.
On the call, the way we moved and the way we played off off of each other, me setting screens for him, and him sometimes setting screens for me, and just playing that two-man game. I think we have some potential there.
Thank you. Let's get to Mark Narducci. You can go ahead, Mark, with your question. Thanks.
Joel, how kind of invigorated and enthused are you to get kind of this shooting around you? It was obvious last year that was something that the team really needed, and now you're getting these acquisitions. What has that done for you as a player, seeing these additions?
Well, man, you can go back to 2 years ago, really 2, 3, 4 years ago, when we kind of had that type of spacing and the court was open. He helped all of us, everyone on the team. Just by the court being open, everybody we were able to just move the ball. The ball never stuck in someone's hands. I think that's the right way to play basketball. Just moving it up and finding the best shot available. And if the offense break down, go to your best score, which I am for this team. So I think that's the right way to play basketball. And we kind of had that example from 2, 3, 4 years ago when we kind of used to use that type of system, and I think that's going to be the same this year.
Thank you.
Next question will be Rich Hoffman. Go ahead, Rich.
Hey, Joe. I'm curious, first off, kind of where you're at physically, and the other thing I'm curious about is, you've played for a few years now. What have you learned about, getting your body ready and what it takes to make it through, an 82-game season in the playoffs?
I feel great. The past, this is my 7th year. I'm getting up there. I guess I'm getting old. So, I've learned a lot, and I feel like, this summer is the one that I really try to really focus on it. By just having, my own chef, nutritionist, my own PT and massage therapist, just doing whatever I can to take care of my body, and, so I'm able to play 20 years here in Philly. So I think that's the thing I've learned the most since I've been in the league, and it was a short time between the end of this past season and this new season, but it's a work in progress. Got to start somewhere, but it's been going great, and still learning every single day.
Alright, there we go, the Joel Embiid interview. Oh man, Joel's a dad now. Are they even married yet? I don't even know if him and his girl are married, but yeah, what I'm getting from this interview, Joel really seems to be focused on staying healthy, which he really needs to do. Health has always been an issue for him, whether it's his knees, his back, his ankle. The dude's been banged up for like he said, 7 seasons he's been in the league. 2014 got drafted, but he seems like he's ready to go. And when you're a franchise player, and I think he's the franchise player, not Ben. He was here first. He started the process. He made this team's identity what it is as far as trusting the process goes. But he knows what he needs to do. He's got Dwight to mentor him. He's got a lot to learn from Dwight in the 1 year that he might be here. Dwight could be gone next year. Who knows? But he said, the one thing I noticed he said Ben was setting screens for me too, and yeah, Ben can set screens. He's 6'10". Come on. I mean, anyone above 6'9" can set a screen. And I mean, anyone can set a screen. It's just how your size makes it how effective the screen is. But it sounds like pick and roll is going to be the most of what this team is doing. And he said the whole thing with the spacing, with all the shooters around them, And all Ben's got to do now is just learn how to pass out of those double teams. But at the same time, when you got all those shooters around him, no one's going to double team, because why would you leave a man open? Unless it's Ben. But I don't think they would put in the situation where Joel's posting up with Ben in the corner right behind him, because no one's there. No matter 9 times out of 10, someone's going to help off of Ben, because he's not going to shoot the corner 3. He goes back to the whole corner 3 thing. He's not going to shoot it. He's not. It's not who he is as a player. But I keep saying this over and over again. I'm getting a little repetitive with it. But this team sounds like they are ready, and they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. You got bounced out the second round with 4 bounces, potentially going on to win that game in overtime, beat the Bucks. And if they beat the Warriors in the finals, they win that finals. The Sixers would have 4 chips right now. And that championship window was closing, and it before this team was the way it is now, it was closed. You got Kyrie Irving and KD coming back in Brooklyn. The Raptors are still nice. Pascal's doing his thing over there. The Heat, Jimmy G. The East actually has some competitors. It's not the West. It's not close to the West. The 7th seed in the East won't get you in the playoffs in the West, or the 6th seed. You gotta have 37, 40 games in the win column to get in the playoffs in the West. Man, this team, I'm ready, guys. I'm so ready for this season. It's just, I really hope it goes the way I want it to. We're back in the Wells Fargo Center, no bubble. Thank God. I wasn't even in the bubble and I hated it, because all the players just seemed so miserable. They didn't want to be there. Half the players opted out because they didn't want to even want to put themselves through that. If you was watching Matisse Thybulle's vlogs throughout the bubble, they did not have NBA treatment. You would think NBA players would have the best treatment. Bro, they was getting microwave meals. Half the time they wouldn't even have silverware or plasticware. Couldn't even give them silver. They gave them solo cup plasticware. Yeah, guys. Sorry this video didn't have a lot of content in it. There wasn't really much to cover here. And like I said, this is my 2nd time recording this video. And I'm also just realizing I am capturing my desktop on the wrong screen. So now I gotta go back into the editing and put in the right picture. Because I refuse to do this again. This is an hour I've been sitting in this chair just talking, and my voice is starting. I talk a lot. My throat is starting to hurt from all this talking. Anyone who wants to get into this whole podcast stuff, sports radio and all that other jazz, if you're like one of those guys like me right now, or Joe Giglio and WIP, who just talks like it's just them, it is hard to talk for this long and actually like keep the interest, like sound interesting, and like keep moving on multiple topics. Like, I've repeated myself 17 times, because the Sixers, like, all the moves have already happened, everything's already really been said. We're kind of just covering the interviews for today. We're not really going over the off season. Like, we all know what happened. We drafted Tyrese, got Dwight, traded for Danny, traded for Ferguson, traded for Seth, Horford's contract going, J. Rich is out, Horford's out, Alex Burks is out, Glenn Roberson's out, some other people. But Daryl Morey got this team right, man. He got this team right. He put them in a position where they can actually do some damage. He gave him a great coaching staff. Well, got him Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers got us a great coaching staff with Sam Cassell, all those other dudes. And the Brett Brown era is officially over, and I am so happy for that. Because you can't rebuild. You can't contend with a rebuilding coach. They hired him to rebuild or tank. When your job is to lose for 6 years, 5 years, you can't turn around and be like, all right, now it's time to win with the same dude. It's not going to work. Anyway, guys, if you like the podcast, hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell so you can get all the notifications for my videos go live, for live streams. My videos get put up. Anything about the channel you get a notification for, and you don't want to miss out because we got a video coming every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sundays. And we also do live streams before every Eagles game. And if there's an Eagles game on a Sunday or Monday, there will be a video and a live stream. So do that for me. Your boy appreciate it. If you like the video, I would appreciate that as well. Show me some love. We just started now in the YouTube world. We trying to get up in the rankings. And subscribing's free, so might as well just do it, right? What's the worst thing that happens is you just see my logo on the side of your YouTube for the rest of your life. It's not that bad. Anyway, guys, my name's Ken. This is the Philly Phandom, and I will see you guys on Sunday on our live stream at 4 o'clock for the Eagles. My name is Ken, and y'all enjoy the rest of your day.